thing of it. I don't say, and by the way, vote for my party now, or come over to my team, or so. No, I've just done a good thing for its own sake. How about that?
Okay.
And the sake includes my own, and it is the human species we're talking about.
As a test of your principle, then, I'm going right back to where we started here because you went on a bit of a tangent. But just sticking to these people,
I appeal to you, ladies and gentlemen.
sticking to Captain Moulds and his wife just for a moment. I mean, they are people of faith. That is what drives them to do what they do, 24 hours a day. Okay, they're not proselytizing.
Right.
And perhaps that's the thing that for you lets them off the hook. But in fact, they are still religious, and they are evidently doing something good. So I'm simply saying your principle doesn't hold up in that case.
Well, I don't know enough about them to be sure about that. I'm not trying to be funny, I don't know. But I mean, if there's a motive apart from for its own sake, then I would be inclined to suspect it, however ostensibly sweet they were. Yes, I would say that. If there's a hint of proselytization, if they're so careful to point out they're not doing it, I wonder why they're so keen to disclaim something. I just don't know. But I mean, you know, I give my money to charities like Médecins Sans Frontières or Amnesty International that go and help my fellow creatures without any supernatural inducement or consideration.
Okay, this sort of brings us back to, and we talked about this the other night, but it brings us back to why people seek solace in religion. The killer quote, of course, came from Karl Marx. Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of the heartless world, just as it is, the spirit of a spiritless situation.
Yes.
I mean, it's interesting, he said it so clearly and so well. And doesn't that sort of at least demonstrate why it's still today in existence?
Well, and to complete the quotation, which is from the introduction to his critique of Hegel's philosophy of right, he goes on to say, criticism of religion is necessary, criticism has plucked the flowers from the chain, not so that men may wear the chain without consolation, but so that they may break the chain and cull the living flower. So what Marx is saying is, of course it's a consolation, and it arises from a deep spiritual hunger, but it's false consolation. It's not the friend it claims to be, and it's always vulgarly misrepresented as Marx having said that religion was an opiate of the people, that it was a mere narcotic, a ruling class drug scam, which it's of course not. It's self-generating. And it comes, I think, not just from unhappiness or loneliness, or what was sometimes in that same discussion called alienation, but from a need that we would have, no matter what the material circumstances were, for, well, I would say the numinous would be one word, the transcendent would be another, the things that we know about without being able to quantify them, music, love, landscape for a lot of people, I think, different times of day, some combinations of all those things. The nocturne. I wouldn't trust anyone who was tone deaf on these things. But I think the great intellectual and in some ways cultural task is to satisfy hungers of this kind artistically